In 1942, the renowned psychologist Frank was plunged into the abyss of the Auschwitz concentration camp. There, he was no longer a respected professor, but just a number printed on his arm. He lost his beloved wife, his elderly parents, the academic manuscripts he had painstakingly written, and even the last piece of clothing on his body was taken away. That is a place where dignity is trampled into dust. Every morning, prisoners work in tattered clothes in the freezing cold. Every evening, they watch their companions being sent into the gas chamber. The shadow of death looms large, and many choose to give up, deliberately touching the electrified barbed wire to commit suicide, or silently allowing their souls to wither away. Frank, in extreme hunger and cold, forced himself to keep observing. He discovered a surprising phenomenon. Those who survived were often not the strongest in physique, but rather those who still had attachments in their hearts. Some were motivated to see their children one more time, while others aimed to complete unfinished works. On a snowy and windy evening, Frank struggled to dig a trench in the mud. The guard behind him cursed fiercely, and he felt his will about to collapse. At that moment, his wife's smile flashed in his mind, and he suddenly realized that although his body was suffering, his heart could escape to a warm shelter. At this moment, he had a soul-shaking realization. The Nazis can take away all my possessions, can destroy my body, can control my actions, but there is one thing they can never take away from me, that is my freedom to choose how to face all of this. He understands that there is a distance between stimulus, environment, and response, behavior. In that distance, everyone has the autonomy to decide whether to become a victim who succumbs to pain, or a fighter who maintains dignity. This realization became the support for Frank to survive. He began to simulate speeches after the war in his mind, imagining himself standing on a bright podium, telling the audience below about the insights brought by this suffering. He treated the hell before him as a laboratory, observing and healing the desperate hearts of his companions. After the war, Frank regained his freedom. He wrote about this experience in the famous book Man's Search for Meaning and founded logotherapy. He tells the world that the ultimate meaning of life is not the pursuit of happiness, but rather finding meaning in suffering. The environment may determine our circumstances, but only we can decide the height of our souls. The last freedom a person has is to choose their attitude in any given environment. This statement remains a spiritual pillar for millions around the world facing difficulties, reminding us that as long as there is a meaning of why to live in our hearts, we can endure any pain of how to live on.